drums is cool. No, they're fine. They're fine. You need more guitar in your headphones? Yep. Well, I need y'all to rock something so I can get them headphones together for me one time, all right? Yeah, just one more time, just like that. Yo, Sonny. Yeah, Sonny. Yeah, you gotta give me a little bit to get the level together. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's tight. That's tight.
Yeah, you need more effects?
Word, let me check these levels.
Okay, this should be cool now.
Turn it up. Let me check it out. Check it out. Here we go. Quick this.
Okay, go ahead, bust it.
Freestyle, fantastic. Rhythm like acrobatics. Microphone mathematics. Added, then subtracted. And there you have it. Automatic, really fanatic. Gaddic, and if you wish to your fingers, you couldn't grab it. Tragic. Still in my style, just like a bandit. But me and this, your mic stick tight, just like a magnet. Static. Supersonic, just how we does. Just because we slamming like Onyx. Feel the rush. Dust to dust. Beat the beat. Ridiculous. Everything we bust. It's a must. In God we trust. So slam.
Dip, dip, dip. What's going on, everybody? Way Up Topic Radio. Hyper Nuts back in the motherfucking building. What's up, brother?
Oh, not a whole lot.
Long time listeners, back to the summer, will remember a very strange show from a bathroom. my hotel bathroom from Milwaukee. During Road America weekend, and one Mr. Hypernuts was so, so patiently inclined to record a show after 4 hours of holy shit. If we had that on tape, some of it would be we'd get arrested, but I could edit it to be funny. I guarantee it. There's a lot of funny moments. Anyway,
Talked about a bunch of random shit, but two guys, two grown men together that have ADHD, and it goes everywhere. Definitely fits the title. Way off topic.
thank you. Yep, I named it right, didn't I?
Yeah, that or way off focus or way off Earth or somewhere in outer space.
How about
we're out here?
just ADHD radio? I think I'll say it all.
Yeah, I'm sure that's taken at least 10 times.
But that would be the fourth name change of the show. That's funny as hell. Anyways, welcome everybody. Welcome. On Twitter, get this bullshit out of the way, because I never remember at the end, and I always feel, I don't know, like it's never a good ending. I just like to end it and hit end. So, bullshit. Well, first your bullshit first, then I'll go after you. So, Hyper, how can they find you there, buddy?
On Twitter, it's at hyper_nuts with a Z.
It's because he's a rebel. Or S was taken.
I probably should put it back to S, but I think somebody probably has it by now.
Well, to be honest with you, my first Twitter name it's Lynx with a Z, and it's 2 L's instead of LI, because it looks all uppercase, but the second L is lowercase, so it looks like uppercase I. See it? So, optical illusion will always get you followers. They're like, I type in Lynx, I can't find this guy. So anyway, but it's got a Z at the end. But there you go. But hey, I made it back in when Twitter came around, and that was cool back then. Okay, I was a fucking rebel, just like Hyper here. Anyway, moving along. Yeah, I was gonna play a different song from the Fundamental Elements of Southtown, but then you said check levels, and then I was like, ooh, I remember that song, or that. Not really a song. It's just a minute 4 of them testing their levels, and POD just kind of kicking it. Can you believe they're a Christian rock band considered? They're in the Christian rock category.
No, I did not know that.
Found that funny. And that's why I was not all that surprised when them and Mattis Yahoo did a song together on Trinity, which I think is a latest album POD did about a couple years ago.
Right.
It's badass, dude. I don't know if you ever heard Mattis Yahoo. Have you?
No, I've never heard of him.
Oh, dude, wait till you hear this motherfucker. This guy, I mean, have you ever been in New York in the Jewish section and see the real Orthodox Jews with the hat and the curly curls and everything?
I've only been to New York a few times. The last time I was in New York was during Hurricane Sandy for work. to help for
feel
hurricane
I
relief
feel bad for you then. Jesus Christ. Well, oh wait, after it or not during it?
after it.
Okay, yeah, I was there during it. Wow, that was one hell of a storm. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, a lot of houses got flooded and a lot of people got put out. But I
And
enjoyed meeting some of the people in New York, man. We were sitting out the front of this guy's house. I was doing plumbing work because people's houses got flooded, so a lot of people lost their
oh,
boilers. So
oh,
I ended up getting some boiler work
oh, that's cool.
with the plumbing crew that I was with. And I went outside to go get a tool from the truck, man. And this old guy walks up because I was talking to one guy that was my supervisor, and he just drove out there in some beat up truck. I mean, it was just like all jacked up. And this old guy walks up, man. He's probably in his 50s or 60s, and he says, "So I see you entered the demolition derby, but did you win?" And then like I just died laughing, and then like two other guys started walking up and engaged the conversation. And like where I'm from in Maryland, people don't do that. But
No, dude,
and
I'm
obviously in New
2 hours
York,
south of it. People don't do it here.
well, obviously in Maryland, oh my God, dude, that shit was so funny, man. Just like, and I told the owner, I was talking to the owner of the house about it, whose house we were working on. He's like, yeah, he's like, everybody's got something to say in New York.
Dude, ain't the truth, man. Whenever I'm up that area, like down here in like Philly area and Maryland, Baltimore, Philly, South Jersey, it's all the same, really. Everybody's got the same mentality, same mindset, same kind of blue collar, fuck you kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like I've been to both, and I feel more like whenever I'm in Baltimore and the surrounding area, I feel like I haven't left yet. Like
Yeah,
if I'm going on vacation, it's like I'm still relatively home because this feels normal to me. But when I go up north, even past exit 8, I feel out of place. And trust me, I am. Because they
right.
are a different breed up there, man.
Well, it had me laughing, dude. I was laughing my ass off. I thought that was so funny. Just like the random sarcastic comments. Oh my God.
That shit'll start so many fights down here. I mean, all it takes is a
And
stare for longer than two
in
seconds.
Maryland, where I'm from, people like keep to themselves. People just be like,
Hmm.
"Who are you? I don't know you," kind of thing. But apparently in New York, from what I saw, it works a little bit differently.
Yeah, it ain't like Philly around here. Nobody talks to anybody unless you already know them or you know somebody who knows them. That's about it. Other than that, longer than a 2 second stare and you're fighting, or at least you're jumping out of the car. That
Right,
happens a
right.
lot. A lot of red light, green light, red light. Nobody moves. Like, what the fuck's going on? Oh, the two cars up front, they're fighting. Okay. And everybody gets out of their car to watch. Not to stop it, of course, just to watch. I wonder if he's going to get his ass kicked. Oh, my goodness. Anyways,
So why did you invite me on today's podcast?
well, that's because today's a very special day.
Oh yeah, what's that?
It's Sunday. No, morning.
Now it's Sunday. I think
Well,
when you messaged me, it
I
was
think when I
Saturday.
asked you, it was Saturday at like 10:30. Yeah, 20 minutes.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, but that's how I roll, man. That's how I roll. I mean, I can't change who I am is who I am, and that's who I am.
I don't
So,
care.
yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Patrice O'Neill lately, for some reason.
Patrice O'Neill.
Dude, you, I implore people to go onto YouTube, just search Patrice O'Neill,
Oh,
Opie
he's
and
funny.
Anthony.
I've heard
Oh
Bill
my goodness.
I've heard Bill Burr say real good things about him.
Well, people can't say enough good things about. I mean, unfortunately, he passed away.
Yeah, that
Um,
dude is he was definitely a funny dude, man.
oh,
I
the
don't
things
remember
he
too many of his
said,
vids.
dude. No, his outlook on women and how he treats his relationships and treats his women, dude. Like, I just wanted to stand and applaud the man.
Hey, he just tells them like it is, He knows what's going
He wasn't
on.
fake. That's one thing he wasn't, man. My man was not fake. He is not as famous as he should be, and that's because he would not play the game like Chris Rock, like what's his face who just blew up from that group. Um, he's everywhere now. Um, Black dude, comic. He's like everywhere. Uh, Keith Robinson, no. Fuck, he's from the Cellar Group. He's from New York. Fuck it, I don't care. I'll think of it later. Point is, was there a point?
I don't know.
Me neither. Is there ever?
It was about Patrice O'Neal and women.
Oh, right. His core beliefs and how he lives his life
Right,
is the girl's the queen, right?
right, right.
That's because he makes her that, right? But he's the king, and this is Patrice's words, so I'm gonna say it how he does. The bitch does not get higher than a queen, and a queen doesn't get higher than a king because the queen needs to have a king to be the queen, and she's never higher than the king. So as long as the bitch knows where her place is, then everybody's cool. It's when she starts thinking that the queen can do things the king can do, and that's when you gotta, demote the bitch down to like, whatever, like, fucking, just what he said is just insanity. But it made so much sense. It's totally illogical. It will never happen unless you're Patrice O'Neal, apparently.
Right,
Because
right.
it did. I mean, like his girl was like that, and she even swore to keep on like preaching that, even though he was gone and all, and it was sad. But
I mean, that is a real funny point and a joke by Patrice O'Neal, but not every woman would agree with that.
oh no, because they were calling up, dude, bitching, and he was killing them. It was hysterical, man. Him on the radio is just magical. Radio Gold, Patrice O'Neal, and Opie and Anthony. But they've been having a lot of different, like, they would take about 5 shows where he's talking about it and kind of combine them into one, continuous thing, that you can listen to. Don't have to necessarily watch on YouTube. This is cool. Like, there's one called Teff Pattern. It's like TEFFFT pattern, and O&A fans will know why. Otherwise, it just sounds like total, just a bunch of letters. It's not.
Right.
I mean, but I'm not going to explain it. If you're not an Opie Anthony fan, you wouldn't get it, even if I did. And if you are, you already know it, so why bother?
Right.
Like Dan from Talking Thrones, huge Opie Anthony fan. Yeah.
I like Opie and Anthony. They're funny.
Dude, I got every show from '98 to '02, what right up to the son, Sex for Sam.
Man.
And then I have every show from the first 2 years on XM from '02. No, they were fired in '02, and then from '04 and '05. Yeah, I have every show on one CD that I downloaded in the computer, and I've been mailing out like micro SD cards,
Right, right.
like 128 gig, because I think I need no, it's got to be a 256 gig. 128 gig is I need 134 gigs to fit it all. It's that much. It's literally like 2 years worth of radio. Like,
They've been around for a while, man.
well, they're all fired now. The only one that exists now is Jimmy, and he's with Sam Roberts.
Well, Opie and Anthony was still on. Well, I must
Nope.
be thinking of another two.
No, man.
I thought they went to XM
They did.
or Sirius or radio.
Well, Sirius bought XM.
Okay.
And then that's when Howard sued Sirius for more money, because apparently 76 million a year wasn't enough. When he was just Sirius, when Sirius acquired XM, In Howard's mind, that's more listeners, that's more subscribers, that's more money that I am owed since now I have a bigger audience. He won. He gets paid $96 million a year and has been for the last 4 and will for the next 6. It was a 10-year deal with, get this, right? 7 months of on-air time. And that on-air time, that 7 months, is 3 days a week for 2.5 hours a day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's it. Is that a sweet
What?
deal or what?
What
That's
the
what the
fuck,
Howard Stern show is reduced to now. 7 months out of the year, he'll be live for 2.5 hours. Yeah, from like I think it's 7 to 9 and 9:30. 7 to
Are you
9:30.
kidding me?
That's it. And somehow he was on live long enough for George Takei to literally out himself as a freaking molester. Literally, the last show that we did was with Don Willie. That's at Don Willie on Twitter. Check him out. Don of Ice
Yeah.
and Fire. Every Thursday at 8. Live streams of different character breakdowns. It's always a lot of fun. Don just broke 3,000. He's about to break 4,000 followers, man, or subscribers. I'm sorry,
I've
YouTube
checked out
world.
a few of his shows before.
Yeah, yeah. He did Jack and Agar because I said do Jack and Agar, and he said okay. But it was fun, man. Like that one and the Oberyn one was really fun because I don't know how it started, but I just started asking, all right, Red Viper versus this guy versus that girl, and and Don kept saying Oberyn, and he would always just end with the poison. So I'm like, okay, Jack can verse Oberyn, poison's out the window now, you know.
Right.
So, and it just kept on going on, and then other people were bringing up like actually really good ones, and it turned into like a 3-hour live stream. It was a lot of fun.
Right.
And normally he likes to keep them like an hour or so. Well, he said about an hour, yeah. But yeah, and then I had him on about 2 weeks ago. I want to say now, yeah, about 2 weeks ago. And dude, he was tired. I was up for like 5 days. I don't even remember it. We talked about so much crazy shit. A little bit of Game of Thrones, which is his wheelhouse. But it was like I don't know. It's probably the first time anybody ever really heard Don kind of like talk about anything else, but. So it was pretty cool.
Right.
Like I found out why he doesn't like being called Donnie.
Right.
That was funny. Yeah, because he was like Frank. He's like, we're friends. So, don't ever call me Donnie. It's like, oh, okay, sorry. Thanks for letting me know that on the live stream. You could have just texted me that. He bitched me out on the live stream. We're calling him Donnie. Well, I text Donnie. I didn't say it.
Right. Right.
Oh, I felt kind of special though. And then I asked Pez. I'm like, I didn't get it. I didn't think Donnie was that bad. He goes, well, do you like Francis? I'm like, fuck no. He's like, well, and I'm like, is it the same? I don't know. I guess in normal society, no. But then when he gave the answer, I'm like, fair enough. Understood. Yeah, he said neighbor like Edith Bunker. She reminded him of Edith Bunker, her voice and everything.
Right.
Used to call him Donnie, and he fucking hated it. That's why. So I get it.
Damn.
I mean, if Edith Bunker called me like Francis, oh my goodness. Oh, Francis! Oh God, I don't even want to do the impression. I can't stand her voice. Were you ever a fan of that show, the Archie Bunker Show? Before your time? Yeah, before
Before
my
my
time.
time. Man.
Yeah, what was that? 70s or early 80s?
I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure.
Doesn't matter. I didn't watch it. I was too busy watching Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Looney Tunes was a long time ago.
All right, quick question. Favorite character Looney Tunes? Go.
Oh my God. I really like that little duck that would hold on, Looney Tunes or Tiny Tunes?
No, Looney Tunes, like the old school Looney Tunes.
Oh, I
Nick and
don't know.
Night type shit.
I always liked watching Roadrunner and Coyote. I don't really have a
Fuck yeah,
favorite
dude.
between the two. I mean, because Coyote never gave up, and Roadrunner always outsmarted him because that's just the way they wrote the script or whatever. But it was always he had some acme kind of thing that he could just pull out and just like, let's see if this works, and it failed, and he fell, and then
And I've never
crashed.
seen one rocket propelled anything sold at
I mean,
Acme.
I honestly wanted to see. I honestly wanted to see if the Wolf was ever going to get Roadrunner.
Well, Coyote, but um,
Whatever,
no.
same thing.
If he does, then the cartoons end.
No, I mean it doesn't. They just brought another one. I mean, they brought Brian back in Family Guy.
It's
They killed
true.
Kenny off and brought Kenny back in
Well,
South.
every episode it was a trope.
Well, no, they killed him. They killed him every episode, and then one episode they officially killed him, and then they eventually brought him back.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Kenny's back. Oh, okay. And then they never addressed it. It was so odd.
Well,
They
I don't know. I didn't really
did they
catch those
address it?
episodes. I don't watch South Park religiously. I'll watch it, if it's
Me
on.
neither.
But I mean, South Park is South Park.
I mean, you remember that first season? That was legendary, dude.
That was ages ago when they had the first season.
Dude, I was in 7th grade. I remember it very well. I mean, every episode had its own damn shirt at that point. It was so big.
Right.
And everybody had every shirt. It was crazy. If you weren't, dude, if you weren't wearing a South Park shirt back then, you just weren't cool. That's right. And then I think Fred Durst is the one that killed that.
Fred Durst is whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember the Limp Bizkit shirt where it was like the South Park shirt, but it was them.
Fred Durst killed the red freaking New York hat, is what he did.
He's from Jacksonville.
Whatever. He wore a Yankees hat that was in red.
Why?
But still, think about it. What Fred Durst did with, like, I think it was a black shirt, a New York Yankees hat in red with white labeling. And as far as I think they were wearing khakis with that, and maybe Chuck Taylors. I don't remember what kind of shoes it was, but the
They
same
were
thing.
Adidas shell tops.
Was it Adidas shell tops? I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
It shows you how long I pay attention. I'd wear Chuck Taylors now, but I wouldn't wear no Yankees hat. Go Orioles. Anyway,
I wouldn't wear Chuck Taylors either.
so like
You Chuck.
Eminem came
I don't know
out,
who
and
Chuck is.
Eminem blew up like bleach blonde, short hair, and blah
Yep.
blah 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 blah. It was like kind of the same thing, you know what I mean? Because like
I'm shady.
he had the Nookie video,
Oh
where he had
God.
all the people dressed up like
The
he was, and
one
then
of the
like
biggest
Eminem,
douche chill moments of my life.
and then Eminem comes out with "I'm the real Slim Shady," and he has like a bunch of them, a bunch of lookalike Eminems, people trying to be like him. I mean, it's kind
It
of like the
wasn't hard
same
to
thing.
find them.
Man. I mean, who else has done something like that? I mean, of course, I guess you could
Well,
say
it
maybe,
worked for Eminem. It didn't work for Fred.
yeah, really. I mean, Kiss in a way kind of did the same thing. Everybody was dressing up like Kiss.
Gene Simmons is a piece of shit.
Well, we're not talking about the man's character, just how people
Well, he's just
idolize him.
about a piece of shit. That's all.
I mean, I guess when you brag how many women you've slept with, and then you're just
And then you're banging like
you're like
the
a Harvey Weinstein or some shit.
dude, he is so creepy, man. But then he's like he's not married or he's married not whatever to Shannon Tweed and when I was younger, dude, that was her softcore Cinemax porn. Wow. I mean, I used to watch Shannon Tweed all the time through the
Right.
squiggly lines. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good memories there.
Yeah.
A lot of soiled towels.
Right.
Right on. You remember her?
Shannon Tweed?
Yeah.
No.
All those soft core porn that she did. It's like 70 movies or some shit she did.
I'd have to see her.
Oh, trust me, you've seen her. I guarantee fucking it. It'll like open some like repressed dream or memory that you've stuck back in your head. I mean, because who remembers every single one, obviously. So but when you were younger, I don't know. But yeah, it was a grandparents' house, Shannon Tweed time, 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah, and then Gene Simmons goes and marries her, or does whatever he does to her with that tongue. So yeah, it killed that for me. Thanks, Gene. You destroyed a childhood just memory for me. Anyway, moving on. so so
Oh,
who
I
was
know who
your
Shannon Tweed
who
is.
who was your first crush there? HN?
Real life, or are we talking like celebrities?
No, celebrities like somebody other people know. I don't know your yeah. No.
I mean, if we're talking like celebrities, I've always loved Charlize Theron.
Fuck yeah, dude. I've
Even
asked people this
even as old
question.
as she is, even as old as she is now, I mean, she is still. Oh my! I think she's gorgeous. Now, of course, in the movies, they might digital her up and make her look good, but I don't know. I still think she's hot.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, like I've asked Don this. I've asked probably the last 5 people on this podcast. Phoenix, I've asked, and they all have had an answer, which is great. And the question always is, you probably have heard it. Um, what movie or what type of like style of acting? Because she's done them all: villain, hero, fucking Southern Fried, New Yorker, whatever. What what Charlize Theron did you fall in love with? Like what movie or what genre was she doing?
What would I like to see her in?
No, what did you see her in? And she's always playing either, like a superhero badass bitch or the villain or she's done them all. She's done all the characters out there, right? Southern
Yeah.
Fried and like Time to Kill and Devil's Advocate to New Yorker like
I
that movie.
honestly really didn't like her in Devil's Advocate because she just played the desperate housewife with mental issues, and that's not really
Well,
what I
when you got the
visualized.
devil creating scenarios in your head that are actually happening because your back's just filled with cuts.
Well,
Um,
I mean,
but
I don't really like watching that kind of movie. I'm not crazy. I'm crazy. I don't want to,
you
I don't
never
want
saw
to.
Devil's Advocate.
No. I said I don't like that. I don't
Oh,
like her in
I
that kind
got
of
you.
role. I saw the movie and I've seen it several times. It's a
It's a great
great
movie.
movie, and she does a great
Yeah.
job. She does a great job at playing that role. But I like seeing her in movies like that one movie she just played in. Um, I forget the name of it. It just came out like a month ago.
Is she a
But
villain or a superhero or
when
like
she actually plays a badass,
a Eon Flux?
yeah, I saw her in Eon Flux. That was a good flick.
That's when I fell in love with
Yeah. I mean,
her.
but I don't. I like to see the girls. You know, you're like, man, I'd marry that. I'd marry that girl. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude. Flux. I'd be like, wow. I'd slip a ring on her finger so quick
Yeah.
just so I could get her back home. Anyway, um, oh God, and I hate short hair. By the way, hate
But I
it.
mean, and I'll probably get laughed at by some of your listeners, but I
The
really liked her in this Hunt. I'm sorry, Snow White and the Huntsman, and even the second movie. I
that's
thought
the
that was
villain, and that's the villain parts I'm talking about, and she
right,
pulls
right.
that
But I
off.
liked her. I liked her as the villain that she played in there. She played that role very well. Mirror, mirror on the wall. I mean,
Oh
but
yeah, definitely.
of course, that's because I'm like, you know, I got like a crush on that woman. I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, is you're like 100 times better looking than that Twilight looking bitch.
Oh God, dude, she was never
I don't,
hot.
I don't really
Oh,
understand. I really don't understand how they gave that girl from Twilight the role of Snow White when she's like not even any remotely hotter than Charlize Theron. And then The only way you could like compare it is because Charlize Theron wasn't pure, and this young girl is, and this young girl, I mean, like
She
really,
ain't
yeah,
pure.
she
She's
fits
a
the role as
whore.
Snow White, but they could have chose so many different other women to play Snow White.
She's a terrible actress. Twilight
Man,
sucked.
I saw this one. I saw the motivational poster once that showed like the main like vampire dude, and then that chick, whatever her name is, Kristen. I think it's Christine or Christina or some shit. They're like
I
sitting on
forget.
some steps or something, and it shows Wesley Snipes as Blade behind them, and it says how Twilight should have ended.
The
If I could find that,
Vampire Hunter.
dude, if
Love it.
I if I could find that shit, I'll send it to you. But oh my god, that made me laugh so hard. And I've never even seen Twilight, but after seeing that, I was like, that's great. Wesley
Honestly,
Snipes. Wesley
I'm not.
Snipes should have been there and just hacked them both up with his sword.
I mean, I would love that too, but
He should have
honestly,
taken that girl and just killed her like she was a familiar, and then just wrecked the other dude.
just do it. Just
Yeah,
please
it would have
end
been
our
better. It
misery.
would have been better if he killed the dude first, so she could have watched him die. Watch him vaporize into ash.
Who? Rob Pattinson. He's a good musician, by the way.
Right?
He really is. I'm not joking.
I've never heard his music, to be quite honest with you. I can't say much for his music, but the whole Twilight thing, it never drew me. I mean, it was kind of like I kind of looked at it as like a Harry Potter type genre,
Yeah, yeah. I
not
mean,
not too serious, more maybe geared towards a younger crowd or something.
I've never seen one Harry Potter.
I've never seen the first one either.
Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned,
If
if I didn't see the first one, I'm not gonna see any others.
Harry Potter was something like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or one of those, along those lines, a
Well,
level.
it does share a similar fan base.
Oh, I'm
It
sure it
seems.
does because it's medieval fantasy and magic and all that shit. But it's to me, it's just like okay,
A
whatever.
wand is gay. I'm sorry.
Well,
And
it's
and
it's a thing throughout medieval fantasy, and I'm surprised George R. R. Martin hasn't put anything like that in Game of Thrones, at least in the TV series. I'm not sure about his books.
I mean, he's praised Tolkien. I've never heard him praise Harry Potter. Has he?
Why would he though, man? It's night and day comparing those two. I mean, you have
Yeah,
adult versus children.
I mean, he's pretty much saying Tolkien did it right. Everybody else that follows him and follows his trope has done it wrong. So that means Harry Potter's done it wrong because they followed his trope.
Yeah.
Evil's in black,
I'm
ugly.
not exactly sure when Harry Potter first came out, but I
Neither am
know
I,
that
but I'm
I
pretty
know
sure
that
that
the
it was not. It was not before Lord of the Rings was written by Tolkien.
I know that the Lord of the Rings story has been out for
The
either over
man wrote it
30
in
years,
jail, didn't he?
over 35 years, I think. Because I used to watch the cartoon
Longer
as
than that now, right?
yeah, I used to watch the Hobbit cartoon as a kid.
That's what I mean. Like my parents read that book in school, so
Yeah,
that dude I think wrote that book in jail in like the 30s.
right.
And I mean, he had plenty of time to create a world and languages and everything for it.
Yeah,
As
what
far as
else?
I'm concerned, he should have done more. You were in jail. What else were you doing?
Well, I guess
Disgusting
because he's
man.
got a beginning, a middle, and an end to his story, he doesn't want to screw it up. But to be honest with you, there is a pretty huge gap between the Hobbit story and the Lord of the Rings story. I mean, the Hobbit
I
story is just
seen.
based on how they found the ring. But like, if you played, I ain't saying it's canon, but if you ever played Shadows of Mordor, it talks about how the ring was was forged and who helped him forge it. Now that I'm not saying that's canon, so don't
No,
nobody.
actually, it is considered canon. Actually, those games
Shadows of
are
Shadows
those
of
games.
Mordor is considered canon.
Well, it's all drawn off the books.
Okay.
So everything that's in the games is considered canon, actually.
Well, then it tells an awful lot about the story. Then, if it's canon.
Oh yeah, yeah, it gets a lot deeper. Like one of my favorite podcasts who just did a podcast reviewing the movie Das Boot, which is my favorite film, and it was my grandfather's favorite film. So,
Hmm.
because I'm a patron of Based on a True Story podcast,
Yeah.
Dan Lefebvre, he was on the show once during podcast day, September 29th. So he came on, and I asked him to do Das Boot, and he dedicated it to my grandfather. Then went over it, and then afterwards sent me the Blu-ray collector's edition, the novel Das Boot, and a brand new book they just released of pictures from U-96's 11 patrols that they did, because the movie's based on the 7th Patrol, but U-96 made it almost to the end of the war when it was being used as a training sub. Yeah, it was bombed and sunk. But um, anyway, the movie's awesome. It's long as fuck. My grandfather loved it. He was huge into submarines. So, I mean, you guys got one down there in the Inner Harbor next to the aquarium.
Right.
Um, I didn't see that they were letting people in it, but there's one down in Penn's Landing, in between the Walt Whitman and Ben Franklin Bridge in Philly.
Right.
There's a submarine there that you can go into. So that's pretty cool. I was like at the Inner Harbor. I'm asked the guy like, so how much to go in the submarine? He's like, oh, they don't do that. I'm like, what the fuck? I want to go into the submarine. Fuck the fish.
Right.
I mean, that aquarium seemed a lot bigger and grander the first time I was there when I was like a little kid. Then I went there, I guess, during an IndyCar race. I went there and I'm like, this is not what I remember when I was a kid. What happened? And then we walked into the room where the sharks are, and you can kind of like touch some, but not all. Like they come up close to you. I don't know, it's weird. But it's like this like big, it's huge, right? And people walk all around it. And I remembered that because it had those weird looking sharks with the saw blade nose. I don't know, they always interest me. That's what I could remember from my childhood anyway. Um, goddamn, was that a fucking hard left turn? What was I talking about? Wow, what was that? One, two, three, four. That's that's way off topic radio right there, folks. Um, yeah. So what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, so uh, he did he did Lord of the Rings, Dan,
Yeah.
on his based on a true story, and what he did was is he compared the books to the show, and it was actually interesting how, or the movie, I should say. It was interesting how many liberties the movies actually took using canon from the books, but like they did the same thing Game of Thrones does, where they'll combine two, three story arcs into one and characters into one.
Right.
So it was actually pretty cool to find out what they really had going on in the books compared to, what we saw in the movies and all that good stuff. And, it's also cool to always, see what they actually got right. But apparently, whoever whoever was the producer or director or whatever of those movies, which I should know, but I don't, which I'll just add to my growing list of things I don't know. Um, you know, yeah. So whoever he was or whoever the writers were, they took a lot of liberties, which I was like, wow, I can't believe they would change that. You know, it did. There wasn't that big of a I guess a reader like you know how like Game of Thrones gets shit wrong or different, and everybody's like, oh, what the fuck? Where's Stoneheart? You know.
Right.
So I was like I was kind of amazed that there wasn't a bigger what the fuck from Tolkien fans, I guess. But I guess they're not as passionate as others.
Right.
So at any rate, speaking of Game of Thrones, what have we talked since seven was over, or did last time we talked we were in the middle of it?
We talked. We talked after the fact that seven was over.
Okay, okay. I'm trying to remember like what we talked about or if there's anything hanging.
We talked about all kinds of shit.
I know, and me trying to remember any of it is just pointless. Um, so okay, well, okay, after digesting what we saw, because it took a couple months to be honest. Um, that Tyrion look like I probably mentioned it back then. It bugged the shit out of me what it meant, and Don came out with something that he thought that I was like, wow, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I don't know. Did you hear it by chance?
I did not get a chance to listen. I've been playing video games and I'm working. I haven't
It's
had
okay.
much time to listen to YouTube.
Or Way Plus
Sorry, Don,
Radio.
if you're listening.
Hey Don, he's been neglecting me too, man. It's all good. You know,
I don't,
numbers
I
don't mean
don't know.
anything in this game.
I don't know if I can go that far.
Anyways, um, but this is what he said, and I don't know if you thought this too or not, but I didn't. That look that Tyrion gave was, oh fuck, the the deal I struck with Cersei, this is gonna fuck it all up because we
I,
don't see
I mean,
what
that's
they talked
possible.
about.
That's possible. And there's some behind the stuff scenes that we don't see.
No,
And it is
exactly.
very possible because Tyrion felt bad watching his people die to Dothraki. I mean, I ain't gonna say that ain't possible. I think Don is on to something. But another side, people were saying he was worried about what this could cause for them two, getting together. And maybe he's read something in a book, or maybe he's just read something in a book because
Maybe
what
he
is
straight up knows.
yeah, maybe he's read something in a book because what he says, what does he always said?
I
He's
drink
a
and I know
dwarf.
things.
Yeah, right. But he's also said, I have nothing to offer. I can't fight. I'm a dwarf. So all I have is my mouth and my brain. So that's all he can really do is just talk and just know shit. So
Hmm.
maybe he knows something about he's read in or prophecy or heard of something like this happening before. Maybe he knows. I don't know.
Maybe somewhere at some point, him going through all those books when he was preparing to battle Stannis, he could
Yeah,
have stumbled upon something.
yeah, he could have. But what I'm gonna say is just maybe he has some inside. He knows something on the inside that we don't. Whether it's something about Jon and Daenerys or something that he talked to Cersei about. Me personally, I mean, I think it's going to be something like the oh shit factor of them two being together. A Targaryen and a Stark, which,
Well, or he knows the truth and it's oh fuck,
I
he's fucking
seriously
his
don't,
aunt.
I seriously don't think he knows the truth, man, because, like, the only reason I think he sympathized with Jon at the wall and every other place is because of what he's always said that, you know, he has a sore spot or whatever it was for, bastards, for
Because
bastards
he feels
from
like on the
both of
same
them.
level.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because he feels like a bastard himself, and he said, all dwarves are bastards in their father's eyes, and I think that's why he sympathized with Jon, and that's the only reason why he sympathized with him. I
Yeah, I mean,
seriously doubt, that he would think, or that he would act, not act on Jon being a Targaryen if he knew it, because that's a huge threat. You know what I mean? This is the one of the last line, the last living line of the heir. I mean, never mind the rules of succession, but this is
if
the,
you think
the,
about it, it's almost like this is the continuation of a line.
well, it is the continuation of a line. There is no arguing that. It may not be a pure Targaryen line, but with Jon being being alive, he holds the greatest claim to the throne. Some would argue that because Rhaegar died before Jon was born, his line of succession ended. But
Not
I think that's
necessarily. I don't think that would
well,
be ever
that's
come to pass.
that's not my argument. But
Right. Okay.
but that's what I have heard people say. I personally think, because he was born of Rhaegar, which was the next in line, makes him the next in line after, of course, after Rhaegar. So that would have put him over Viserys or Daenerys. Now,
Exactly. Yep.
what I personally think, if anything's going to happen, if there's going to be any betrayals, it's going to be Tyrion that does the betrayals. And if there's going to be any
I would have said
conflict,
Varys,
huh?
man. I would have said Varys, to be honest.
I mean, I don't think Varys is gonna. He talks about the right family name, and he jumped on with Viserys, and then now he jumped on with Daenerys. And if he finds out who Jon Snow is, he'll probably jump on him with next. What's the difference?
Well, every
Because
time.
if she really is decent Nisa, right? She's gonna end
Okay.
up sacrificing herself. So who leaves that in line of succession of proper to the throne?
I don't think there will be a symbolic Nisa Nisa or even an actual Nisa Nisa in the story.
There's gonna have to be something that Daenerys is gonna have
Well,
to do to outshine Jon.
I mean, Nisa Nisa is the story of the last hero, right?
I mean,
Why
but seriously, ask yourself this
why
question.
does the same thing have to happen over and over with like just like the last hero? Why?
I'm not saying it does, but my theory is Daenerys is going to have to outshine Jon somehow. Because
Well, I don't think
I
it'll
mean,
be a question of outshining. I think
do you honestly think Jon and Daenerys are going to get married
um the,
after they find, or even stay married after the fact they find out the truth about their
they
how
could
they're
be
actually
married,
related?
have a kid, then John find out, and it's over.
All he's got to do is talk to his brother and talk to Sam.
Well,
I mean, don't
honestly,
forget that came alive on the show between certain characters, and to the audience, like of course
right.
we've known it forever. We've known it since what, season 5, or early
Yeah,
season 6 or
yeah.
whatever it was.
When they pan from the baby to Jon Snow,
Yeah.
I think that
So
was season. What was the last one? 7?
it was either
So
6 or it was either
6.
6 or 5. Forgive
No, it
me,
was
I
6.
haven't watched Game of Thrones in a while, but
I believe it
anyway,
was 6.
so we've
Before
known
the
about
Battle of Bastards.
right. Well, we've known about that for a long time. But now most of the characters on the show know about that. So as soon as they're going back to Winterfell because of the Army of the Dead. So I would think probably within the first 1 to 4 episodes, John's going to find out.
Well, there's only 6 left,
Well, maybe 1 to 2.
and like each one's going to be feature length, almost like an hour and a half, almost.
I mean, I would hope that he finds out the first episode. But remember how long we waited before we found out more about Rhaegar and Lyanna. Don't forget that.
Well, look how long we waited just to see, her ass sailing west finally.
Well, right, that took 6 seasons or
I
5
know.
seasons. 5 seasons, I mean. So
No,
or
6
it
because it
was
was the end
6.
of 6.
You're right. It
Yeah,
was 6 seasons. I'm
literally
wrong.
the last scene of 6.
Yeah. So it took her 6 seasons to cross the narrow sea, which is ridiculous. But whatever. That's how the show built up. Her dragons had to grow. Her army had to grow.
Well,
So I mean,
that was back when the show actually respected travel times of people on horseback or walking.
well, it, I looked at some of how they filmed Game of Thrones, like that dragon scene with like Field of Fire 2.0, as they've been saying.
Yeah.
I looked at that and I watched that, and dude, it will really make you respect what it takes to film, because they describe how you have to do all these shots and how many different shots they had to get of this certain angle of her
Yeah.
flying the dragon in CGI, and they had to do that all in CGI, and then
Yeah. They
however
like
else.
broke some sort of record, right? For setting some sort of number of people on fire at the same time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about it. I think I heard that too, but
Yeah.
like, and then the scenes with the fire, how long that had to take. Okay, we got to make sure nobody gets burned. Everybody got their sunscreen on. You ready to do this? Okay,
I
action.
know.
All right, put him out. I mean,
All
like,
right, now put them out. before he suffocates
Right.
because the fire is burning all the air he's
Just,
breathing.
just those shots alone, just those shots alone is the reason why it takes so damn long to film the show.
But dude, the end result was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
I mean, people
it,
talk shit on the show as much as they want. You cannot deny the production level of it. Maybe the writing is a bit off, but hey, before they were following the genius pen, well, unfortunately, they're not anymore. So they're
right.
following a genius bullet points. It's a bit different. So of course the writing's going to feel a bit off, but the bullet points are there. I mean, George has his hands on that at least, but yeah. I think we're done with Dorn for good. That end scene is just perfect. So I have to imagine by now the bitch is dead and she's watching her body rot. That's nuts.
Right.
And it's been long enough. Um, I don't think Braun saved her. So Jamie leaving and going north. He's gotta be detouring to Braun, right? I mean, it just when he went down to Dorne, he did that. When he lost his hand, he grabbed him. I mean, it just seems like Braun had, you know, Braun's just with Jamie. It's just, you know what I mean? It just makes sense that he's going to do it. You think we're in season 8, we're
Yeah.
going to see that Jamie did ride north-ish, but to pick up Braun first?
I don't know about the whole Bron thing. I mean, I think he hurried up and got out there. I think Cersei, they're gonna let Cersei off Bron or something. That or I
It,
think Bron's gonna have his character killed off next season probably
I mean,
because
they took the character further than the character was ever supposed to go anyway.
yeah, Bron's actually still alive though in the books. From what I've been told,
But he's not that
he's
important.
right, but he's married to the one that Jamie changed the agreement on. Lawless, whatever her name was.
Yeah, didn't Qyburn use her for the mountain?
Maybe in the books, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
about the
yeah. I mean, they don't say anything about her in the show other than that one part.
right,
But in the books, I'm pretty sure she's the one that yeah, uh, Qyburn used part of her for the mountain's resurrection or whatever he did.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's just what I've heard. I don't know. I didn't read it myself.
Right.
I could be totally wrong. Don't quote me on it.
I mean, it would be cool to see Braun though. I mean, honestly though, I'm more interested in seeing more of Westeros and Essos. Like, I know everybody wants to see like a Shy, and of course, Melisandre went there. She said she was going there. I hope that. I
Volantis,
hope.
I think.
Yeah, but didn't she say she was going to a Shy to get more Red Priests?
Um, no, I think she just said I'm going to Volantis. But I will return because I need to die in this whatever world she called it, the strange world.
Yeah.
And that's when she says, and so will you. That was it. Yeah,
So were you, dear Spider. I remember that line.
yeah, yeah. He had nothing for her too. Normally he's got a witty comeback, but
I think because I think he's just like was probably a little outwitted and you know maybe even a little bit intimidated because excuse me a red priestess told him his future and he despises magic. Excuse
well,
me.
maybe he's m- maybe he's known his future the whole time because remember that one red priestess back at the end of middle ish of season 6. What's her face with the giant tits? Anyway, um, she knew about the wizard, or the second bit sorcerer they call him,
Second rate
and
sorcerer.
yeah, and the voice that he heard in the flames. and Varys said that he didn't understand it. I think it's bullshit. I think
I,
he
I
did.
I don't know what it was, but I hope it's not something stupid. Like I hope it comes out about him being a Targaryen or Blackfire or something interesting. Because honestly, as long as they've held this carrot on the stick about what he heard in the flames and
It's
why he
got to
was
pay
cut,
off.
yeah, something's got to pay it off. So if it's something stupid, was just like you were an innocent little orphan boy, blah 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 blah. I hope it's not done
Second
like
bait,
that.
yeah, yeah. Second bit sorcerers don't want little orphan boys. They want blood. You know, king's blood.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, yeah, that's why I think it points to him always shaving his head
Or
because he.
maybe he just needed a penis of a merman. I mean, that's what it was.
I've seen his feet. I've seen his feet in the show.
Have you ever seen the movie Splash?
No, but I've seen the Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Well, the movie Splash was about a woman that was a mermaid, and when she got wet, like was sitting in a bathtub or like jumping in
She
any kind of body of water.
she was
She,
listening to me on the radio. Yeah.
nah, I'm not gonna go that far. I mean, she would grow fins, and Tom Hanks was like, "Oh, okay,
Oh, I remember that movie. Didn't it
yeah."
have that chick in it that was in every bad movie back then? What was her name?
I'm
The blonde hair?
Was it Kim
No,
Basinger?
no.
I don't
Something.
remember her name.
Wasn't she in Groundhog's Day? No, that's not her. Fuck. I know what you're talking about though. I remember that movie. It was very very odd. Very odd. So what you're saying is mermans mermans more mermanoids. I don't know what you call them, but so when they're totally dry, they have feet, but when the water touches them, they turn to a half fish. So you're saying
Yeah, I mean, like they grow fins when they get in the water.
that's true, and he did like, oh, you might be surprised, that I can swim. Well, personally, I would be surprised if you sunk, you fat fuck. You'd float.
He has to be a merman, man. Dude, he can like travel so fast, like it's nobody's business. He
Oh, he
doesn't
know
like it's nothing.
he uses Peter Baelish's teleporter.
You know, Peter Baelish is now dead, so there ain't no teleportation.
Well,
She's
I'm
coming from
sure
him anymore.
I'm sure he had contingency plans set to effect that this next person would take it over, and always make sure his parents got a place to stay. You never
Right,
know. You never know. I mean, a dude that deceives that many people has to have a living will somewhere.
right.
I mean, if he plans for everything anyway, you you would think a will would be in there somewhere.
Yeah, but who's he gonna give it to? Robin,
Well, yeah, I mean, he loves the little guy so much
or is he actually,
because he's
or is
only
he actually,
his.
or is his sick way, or is his sick twisted way is gonna be to give it to like the Starks or whatever, like to Sansa or Sansa? I mean,
I just like to say, speaking of Peter Baelish and Sansa and the Starks, let's dive into this real quick. Um, your impressions of Littlefinger's death and how it went down. Do you like it? Do you hate it?
well, they didn't do it by the Stark way.
No, no. Well, I mean, a Stark did do it.
He who no, Stark did do it, but he who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
He
Is what?
being the dominant.
No, he
Uh,
who passed the sentence. That can be
yeah,
interpreted.
he
Man,
who
yeah, and Sansa, and
is the Lady of Winterfell
yeah, and she's the one that should have passed the sentence,
can't pick up the damn sword.
not let her sister do it.
Her sister's the killer. Let her do it.
Well, it wasn't the way
They're a
dear
team.
dear old dead Ned would have done it.
Well, dear old dead Ned could actually pick up a sword and do that. I don't think Sansa could.
Yeah, well,
She's a
I don't.
lady. She's a lady. She doesn't pick up swords and kill people. She has a Little sister do it and bash because she's a lady.
Oh Jesus! I wonder if John. I wonder if John's gonna have. I wonder if John's gonna have something to say about that. When he gets to Winterfell.
Ah, I mean, after he hears what he did, I doubt it.
No. I'm not saying like killing Baelish, just not, he who passes the Senate swings the sword is what I'm saying. I'm sure he's going to be like relieved and happy that Baelish is dead because he had Baelish on his eye. He had his eye on Baelish because he was sure Baelish was going after his sister,
He did not trust him.
Or his cousin.
Family member. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like, well, so, okay, so, at this point, Sansa, Arya, and I guess Bran, by proxy of the other two, they look at themselves as a pack of wolves, right? So
Yeah.
they're one group operating together.
Right.
So with Sansa passing it and Arya doing it, it is kind of like they are carrying it out because all three of them came up with the whole plan in the first place. So it's not like Arya didn't have any hand in it at all. She just did what her sister wanted to do. It was kind of already predetermined. So they all kind of passed the sentence. Just Sansa was the voice of it. Well, Brandon was too, but I mean, come on, he's just a tree. So
yeah, pretty much.
And I don't think we needed all the extra shit, even though it was creepy and weird, of Brandon just repeating shit he could have never seen or didn't ever see. That's creepy. But all Sansa needed to do was admit that she saw him kill her Aunt Liza. That was it. That's all they needed to have his throat cut right there.
Right.
So all the extra shit I didn't see. It was just pointless. It really was. Poor writing on their part, I say. I think Baelish deserved a better death than that. But
I mean, he deserved to die. But I mean, how else would have killed him? Thrown him to the dogs?
Well, I mean, a lot of characters deserve to die. I think Jaime deserves to die, but he's on a redemption.
Personally, I think what they should have done to him was tortured and killed him. Like, had shit happen to Baelish that, say, Sansa had to experience on her second wedding night. So that's just my feeling, because he set her up for that, and she had to suffer it, and he just sat there. He had to have known, but yet when he talked to Ramsay, he really didn't seem like he knew. But yet he had to be, as smart as this guy was, and the way he played his cards, he had to at least have some idea that dude was twisted, and he would probably be up to no good,
Yeah, I mean, especially in the books, it's definitely well known, isn't it?
Well, of course, in the books, yeah, but
but that's Jane Poole. That's not actually Sansa,
right?
And does Baelish have anything to do with that in the books? I don't even
know. I don't know. I can't speak on that one, but he had to have known. He had to have known because, like,
pride himself on knowing everything else.
She even said to him, "The Boltons killed my family." But what doesn't make any sense to me, he tells her, and we don't really find the truth of this out unless he just wanted to kill off the Starks because of what Brendan Stark did to him, and that he lost Kat and she rejected him, so she wanted to kill the Starks and her or whatever. But he had nothing to do with the Red Wedding. It's like he didn't even know about it in the show, that is. But yet Sansa tells him about the Red Wedding. Of course, at that point, he already knew. He swears up and down that he wished he could have taken a knife for her. He could have taken that knife. And
You think he was
then
telling the
he
truth?
said, I don't know, dude. Like he tried to pour his heart out to Catelyn in the tent when he was going to return Ned's bones, and she's like, "Are you serious right now?" And she was ready to fucking kill him.
Yeah, it's true.
Because he tried to take advantage of the situation. Hey, you're single. I'm single. I
You're
still love you.
available.
Yeah, yeah, right. And then she's like, "You're kidding me, really?" And it's almost like she felt like she was being played or being set up, like it was meant to happen.
Just a piece of meat.
Because he played a huge role. He played a huge role in getting Ned killed, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, he was almost really the key reason. He set the whole thing. He's the whole reason why this entire thing happened. I mean, him
But
lying to Cat.
in a
You
way,
know,
when Tywin Lannister was talking about moving out of, I guess it was Harrenhal where they were at. So when Robb Stark came in, they would be like screwed over, like nobody would be there.
yeah,
In a way, he was setting it up for the Red Wedding, you know?
yeah. I mean, Baelish was there, and who took over Harrenhal right after that? Peter Baelish.
Yeah, Peter Baelish, she got lands at that point.
You know, he acquired Harrenhal by convincing, them to leave it.
Right.
That's interesting. Never
But
thought about that before.
he never really played a huge role. He never really played a huge role in the Red Wedding. And I guess they didn't want him to know because,
Well,
he
I'm
might.
pretty sure he helped orchestrate the
Well, what I'm
the back
saying
and
is
forth between everybody.
they never showed him. You know what I mean? They never showed him.
True, but they never showed him whispering into Joffrey's ear at night either, putting the whole chopping his head off into his head either. But that's a book thing.
Yeah.
But he does a lot of things behind the scenes, is my point.
Right.
So it's all speculation, though. We'll never find out.
Yeah.
He did enough, though. He really did. He did enough to cause enough of a problem.
Well,
I
I'm
mean, he
wondering
really did.
now that they have the video, the on demand playback with
I know.
Grant, which
Thank
it's
God TiVo's here.
I'm wondering if George wrote this, if Dan and Dave, and between George, when this was all written and all this, they were like, "Well, how are we going to show how things happen?" In fact, I know we'll create the three-eyed raven. What's the three-eyed raven do? He's on demand replay. He can replay anything that ever happened, and we'll just make it up as we go.
I guess that's one of the benefits of having Three-Eyed Raven, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, in the end, he
We don't have
created
to
them.
put it in the beginning. We can save it later to really add something up. Put something together. Whatever.
It's like that oh shit card. I wrote myself into a corner. How do I get out of it? I know.
Three-eyed raven.
Bring in the tree. Cue the tree.
Yeah. Bring in the tree. I wonder when they're going to burn the tree down.
Werewoods don't burn.
Tell that to the books. We're chopping down our sacred trees.
Yeah, they did chop them down, didn't they?
Yeah.
And even though they're just a stump, they're still as powerful.
Right.
I mean, Jamie's fever dream is awesome.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, did you see Gray Area's Jamie fever dream video? And did you see Bridge 4's, Kev's version of it?
I have not had a chance to watch anybody's videos here lately.
Well, I mean, they made them about a year ago, but
Sorry, Bridge and Gray.
yeah, Gray's been doing some good videos lately, and so is Kev, man. Kev stepped it up, man. Kev's almost at 50,000 freaking subscribers already. I can't believe it. When we had him on, he had about
Nice.
9,000. So
Really?
yeah.
Making moves, ain't he?
I mean, people, when people are real and, they're doing good stuff, people eventually filter through the bullshit to get to the good stuff,
Right.
So they finally found it, and then once you get, I think once you break a certain number, it just starts to kind of steamroll.
Yeah.
And Gray's been keeping right with them too. She's like right there too, like at 48, 49. So
Right. Right.
that's pretty cool. But it's just cool to watch people, start getting the numbers that they've been due for a while.
Right.
I wonder if YouTube finally fixed their problem, or do they really have 150 subscribers?
Yeah. Really.
Or 150,000, I should say, which is insane to even think the numbers that YouTubers do. Wow. Oh boy. So what have you been doing lately, man? I mean, you said you've been busy. You haven't been able to, you know, do
I've
too
just been at
much.
I've been at work and I've been playing a survival game called Conan Exiles.
Is that on the computer, PS4?
Computer
Right on.
PC. It's fun.
No, I'm a
It's
P. I'm a PC gamer, man. I
yeah.
I uh I left the consoles behind a long time ago.
Now that's a lore genre that I would love to see come out into more movies again if it would just take off.
And what is it called again?
Conan Exiles.
Conan Exiles. Is that Conan the Barbarian based?
Correct.
Okay, okay. I'm sure it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger on the screen. I hope.
Nah, no. It's another guy that gets to fit the role as a digital cartoon.
Right on.
Well, not really a cartoon. It's the
Eh,
graphics are pretty
Oh,
nice. It runs off the Unreal 4 engine.
yeah. Unreal 4 is Unreal times 4.
Yeah, that's the same engine that runs PUBG and a few other games.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, I got a yeah, I yeah, I just got this actually. It's the new Alienware computer. It's got
Nice,
the dual 540 graphics cards in it.
right?
Badass, dude. 27-inch curved 4K screen. The thing is pretty insane. So and I got it just to do computer gaming with it, and
Right.
all I do is iRacing. So with iRacing, they got about 50 different graphics, tuners, adjusters, whatever. So everybody's computer will run at the correct frames per second. So when you're racing at 200 miles an hour, it's not all choppy and shit.
Right.
So if you got to take the grandstands out because your computer's not beefy enough to do it right, well, you just gotta do it right. So with this thing, I turned them all on to high detail and everything, and I'm at like before, if I could get to 45 frames per second on my old computer, I was happy.
Yeah.
And then I had to take everything out. This thing, I put everything in, and I'm at 210 frames per second. It's it's so totally overpowering for what I need. But so I was thinking about getting into like a little bit more deeper, computer games that takes up a lot more memory,
Yeah.
just to see what this thing can really do.
On
So
my PC, I have two hard drives, so I can put all my games on one and have my operating system on another. So if one of my hard drives fails, you know, if
you
my
got a backup.
operating, yeah, if my operating system drive fails, well, gonna
Kind
have
of screwed.
reload Windows. But if my gaming drive fails, which is always going to be taking the most abuse, because
Right.
it's always going to be storing and running stuff.
And
Then
what
at
do you
least
use?
I
The Nvidia, I think they call it, right?
video card, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the best they have, right? Yep. Right on.
I don't
I mean,
have.
Dell's Alienware, they call it Avion or something. I think it's called the graphics card.
Yeah,
And apparently the 540 is the latest one. And I'll tell you what, man, it's for I, this thing is badass.
right.
I just don't know much about computers to know if what I'm even saying is true. I don't know if it's if there's more badass out there. I'd love to say it.
Well, that's the thing about computers, man. You could buy like the best video card. It could cost you a grand, and buy. next month or whatever it's going to be, that video card will be second or third place.
Yep.
That's hardware. Computers never stop upgrading. I mean, I don't know if they do the shit on purpose or if that's just how fast the technology is growing. It's just,
Both, I think.
yeah. But it's just like always something better comes out and something better comes out and something better comes out.
Yeah, it's like my Lenovo I got 2.5 years ago, and about 6 months later it was outdated. Then I got the MacBook Air, right?
Right.
That was a huge upgrade, and now this is outdated because they got a better one. Um, and then I got this Alienware here about 2.5 months ago, and I'm sure in another 3 months another new one will come out that'll blow this out of the water. So I just can't I don't think the games are really catching up with the technology right now, or the technology is surpassing games. I don't know however to say that, but however you want to say that to where I think they're just not there's games out there that we don't know about that probably have the most insane graphics you ever saw. It's just not done right or
Well, there'll be like a game probably in a few years that might be developed off of, I don't know, on like the Unreal tournament is probably going to have a bunch of games. Unreal 4, a bunch of people are going to be probably coming out with games based off of that engine here in the next year or two, maybe. Or, there might be something better than that. But when it takes long development for a game, sometimes the graphics are behind. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's partially why people are coming out with early access games more often. Like you see, there's the industry's kind of growing on that because it's like, hey, let's just sell this game for half price and see what we get. And maybe they did the numbers or something. Because I mean, if they sold it for half price and they made 1,000,000 sales, I mean, what's the difference in selling it, full price at 500,000 sales?
Everybody wins.
Yeah. So I mean, like these early access games come out, and it does kind of kill the game and its reputation because everybody expects the early access game to be as good as it would be brand new, and that is not the case. You're doing nothing but paying to be an alpha tester, so you just have to learn to deal with the bugs.
Pretty much. I mean, whoever bought an Xbox One when it first came out should be really pissed right now.
Yeah, that's why I don't deal with the beta race. I only deal with the master race, and that's computers.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I jumped over to here to do sim racing, actual sim racing on a simulator because I was tired of the bullshit assholes that were playing on the console. They would just wait at the start finish line and just kind of take you out just because it's fun to them. It's like, they make games for this asshole.
It's called Demolition Derby.
Yeah, it's like Need for Speed or whatever, but
Or Grand Theft Auto, one of the two.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like, Forza 4 is not where you should be doing this.
Yeah,
So,
I was a fan of consoles as a kid, but nowadays, I mean, I don't want to pay $300-400 for a console and I'd be stuck with a controller.
yeah, and what kills me is the Xbox One community. If you've been a faithful Xbox whatever, which I was, I mean, I got the one when it first came out, and 3 days later I sold it and then got a PS4 because it was shit. It was shit.
Yeah, I've
Xbox
had
knew it.
I've had almost every PS4 except for this last one. So,
I love it, man. It's so much better.
or every PS4, every PlayStation except for this last one. And I've had the Xbox 360. I've never had a Xbox One.
You're not missing anything. Well, apparently,
Yeah.
until now, with this new X that came out, the
Yeah.
Xbox One X, I mean, I can't believe they upgraded a system that's a next gen system for a
I think they
first
wanted
one.
to put it. What was it? They put it in 4K or something. Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
yep, yep.
I mean, I guess it's them trying to keep up with the technology of computers because that's their biggest competition.
Simple system update should have been suffice.
Well, I mean, whatever
And
technicality it was, but
and the
still,
thing is, the PS4 came out with that technology already in it.
Well, you have noticed when the PS4 or Xbox, they're like competing with each other, along with competing with computers, and it's like, who's going to release what first? And I think there was even one year where PlayStation or Xbox pushed theirs back so they could change some things.
I think PS4 did, and then didn't
Yeah.
Xbox follow suit? Didn't put one out?
Honestly, I'm not sure about that, but
Hmm. I don't know either, but I think I remember hearing about this. I think it was when they went from the Xbox to 360, and the PS2 was going to PS3, and the PS3 was supposed to come out at the same time Xbox was, but then they delayed the PS3, and because like the original ones were all big and bulky and shit, and
yeah,
ugly as fuck.
right,
And it was just a disaster looking. But the thing is, like, what was inside of it was amazing, but it just looked so goddamn cumbersome.
right.
And I think they had like they released some and then they stopped and then they redesigned it, then re-released it. And for some reason, Microsoft like they waited for the like the PS3, I guess, competition console that they I don't know. But yeah, PS3 was definitely that thing was like the Cadillac of gaming consoles, you know. Like Xbox was your workhorse, you know. It was like your go to work console. and
Right.
uh and like the PS3 was like the Corvette in the fucking garage, you know.
Yeah.
You took it out only when certain games came out or whatever. And you didn't use it for online because why would you want to? The online was terrible. But now that you pay for it for this one, it's better than Xbox.
Right.
And Xbox's online was shit, and you paid for that. So it was like, fuck this. I'm going to PS4. But now that this new system came out, I'm like, I do miss Gears of War.
I could live without Gears of War. I've watched people playing on stream, but I'm not.
It's a
I
fun
wasn't.
game.
I wasn't really drawn to it. It looked like a fun, cool game, but
It was just that duck and cover type of
is Gears of
shooter.
War only on console?
It's only on Xbox, yeah.
Oh, and that is why I will never play it.
Well, I mean, it is also for the computer, but you have to have a Microsoft. Uh, you have to have a Xbox One. You have to have, the Microsoft, the Windows, whatever. You have to have the online, purchased through the console, and then you can play it through Windows 10. You can transfer
Yeah, but can
or
you play with Xbox people though?
online through the computer. I'm not sure.
Because if that was the case, I would consider playing, say, Xbox games.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that you can play Xbox games and you can download them from the computer to the computer, and you know how the computer has the those gaming controllers that are
Yeah,
yeah. So you get one of those, and then you
you
can
can use
play.
those game. You can use an Xbox controller for games on your computer,
That's
like
true.
like
Yeah.
like games through Steam or whatever computer game has controller support.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Steam, another one. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Um. But like when I went down this road of with Windows 10 that you can do that, I was trying to see if I can get the games without having the console. But
Right.
no, you needed the console. You had to have the console. You had to put the serial number in and everything else. I'm
Oh,
I'm
that's fun.
guessing you have to register the console too and everything.
I would think that you would just have to have an Xbox account. You know what I mean?
Right, but they want to
But
know they
but
they want they want to make sure that you have the console and that you're online through the
well,
console.
your Xbox account is registered to a console, if I remember correctly.
I do believe you are correct.
So, like, if you get that account banned, that console gets banned too. There's no change in it because it's tied to that console.
That's true. Well, that's why I love iRacing is if you try to race like an asshole, they'll throw your off the server. They'll just bounce your ass and
Mm.
send you an email. Sorry, you're banned for 6 months. Don't, and when you come back, if we let you, don't race like that again. It's awesome.
Did you ever hear the story about the autistic kid that got banned on Xbox because they thought he was hacking?
No.
It made national news. There was this autistic kid. He played Xbox like all the time. It's what I guess helped him maintain his day, and his mom let him do it because that's what made him happy. And
Sure.
he had all these achievements, man. He was going for all these achievements, and Xbox thought he was hacking, so they banned him. And it crushed the little boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Did
it made national news.
Well, did they unban him after that?
I never got the final end of that story, but I know it made national news. I didn't hear any follow up stories to it. At least I didn't find any. But I thought that was pretty jacked up. I mean, like Steam, for example, if you get caught hacking or exploiting or whatever it is on certain servers on certain games, like an official server of a certain game, there's certain like guidelines or whatever you want to call it, rules that you have to follow that are like without no question they will back ban you, and you won't be able to play on any official server that's controlled by BattleEye or whatever other server would use a back anti-cheat. They'll even ban you if you like put a stop payment on your credit card. They'll ban your account, but they'll put a back ban on it. That is.
That's crazy.
But,
It's almost like what's next? Are they going to ban you for your credit score?
well, I mean, if you put a stop payment on them, that's pretty close. But
Yeah,
anyway,
really.
um, it's almost impossible. Like from what I've been told, it is impossible to get a back ban removed from your account. But I can only imagine if this little kid was playing Steam and got back banned because they thought he was cheating, like he would never be able to get his account back.
Oh no.
So, I can only imagine what this poor little kid went through on Xbox. If he even actually got it unbanned, I don't know. But it made me think about that when we were talking about banning consoles.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. It really is nuts, but I really hope they reinstated the little kid, man. That's ridiculous if they didn't. Especially if it made national news. I'm sure they probably would have had to. Then again, it's Microsoft, and they do have a giant I don't give a fuck attitude. It's like Apple's killing you in phone sales. What are you gonna do? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Just make it on all phones then. We'll just kill them in numbers. Okay then.
I actually found the story on the internet,
About what?
about that kid that got banned. I just can't see. It's not pointing out where. It's not pointing out that he got unbanned.
Oh, there's no like retraction to it or anything or addition.
There ain't no follow up on it. I found the video of it as well, but this happened in January on January 26th, or the video was posted on January 26th, 2011. So it might have been a little bit after that.
Oh, that was like 6 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like an algorithm that was like trained to pick up that type of shit.
Yeah.
And they just did whatever the algorithm said to do.
Right.
I mean, that's possible, I suppose. I don't know. Any rate, favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Do you
Going
have
back
any?
to Nintendo.
Nintendo. Not
I'm
on
just saying
Nintendo.
going back to if need be.
Oh, going back to my favorite
It,
game's Pong. No, I'm just kidding.
I love Miss Pac-Man, not
Miss
the
Pac.
not real regular Pac-Man. Happy Ms. Pac-Man.
Trying to think of some games that I always played that I really liked. Who was it? Oh man, I'll tell you what. My favorite single player game within the last year or two was Shadows of Mordor. Now, everybody tells me that's nothing but a reskin version of Assassin's Creed, but whatever. Um,
Which I hear is a great game, but I've never played it.
eh, Shadows of Mordor is fun. Favorite game of all time? I don't know. I played WoW for 10 years. I
What
always
was it
loved
called?
WoW, World of
Wow.
Warcraft. I played
Oh,
WoW.
okay, gotcha.
I played WoW for 10 years, but I don't know if I'd say that's my favorite game because I ain't still playing it. My favorite survival game is like stuck between two. That's Conan Exiles and Rust. I'm not, I'm
Okay.
not I'm not really a big fan of what they've done with Rust here lately. I more enjoy the Battlefield version of Rust than the vanilla version. Funnest game I played in the past year or two would have to be Saints Row the Third. As
Yeah,
old as
and then didn't people like compare Saints Row to Assassin's Creed a lot again?
no. People compared Saints Row to Grand Theft Auto.
That's what it was. Yeah. I was almost going to say that, but I never played Saints Row, so I don't really know.
Saints Row is nothing but maybe I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5, so I can't really I can't compare it to Grand Theft Auto 5, but the older ones, Saints Row is like for one example, on one of the kits that you can get, the extra kits that you buy with
Right.
Saints Row, like Saints Row 2, you get like this giant dildo and it's used as a baseball bat and you can beat people with
That's awesome.
it.
Any-
Saints Row 4,
well, I wonder what
it's
that would look like in NES.
dude, it's a giant purple dildo on a stick that you beat somebody to death with, and it's like it's made of rubber or whatever it is.
This
It like
the sound
flexes.
has to be
I mean,
hysterical.
we're not talking like a baseball bat. I mean, you swing it like a baseball bat, but it's like it bends around them when you hit them and stuff. It's all floppy and shit. It's fucking hilarious. Just walk up to somebody and beat the hell out of them with a giant dildo. And Saints Row 4, they have instead of the dildo, they have this rod. It doesn't matter what it is, whoever it is, you take it and stick it up somebody's ass, and you have them
Holy
propped
shit.
up, and then you rocket shoot them, and they go flying, and you never see them again. It's so fucking funny, man. And like they have this one weapon where it makes somebody's head inflate like a balloon, and you pop it. It's
That's
just some of
funny.
the dumbest weapons, but God, are they hilarious.
It's kind of like weapons that force fatalities from Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat a little bit.
If you ever just want to screw around and play a game for just bullshit and fun, Saints Row is definitely where it's at. I just don't think they're gonna make any more of them.
And you get that on the computer?
Yeah, you can get it on Xbox, I would think too, or even PS or PlayStation. It's
I,
on Steam if you have a
I
Steam account.
no, I don't. I mean, I've seen it.
A
I
Steam
found
account's real easy to make, man. All you need is an email address.
it. Does it cost a lot of money?
Saints Row? Fuck no. Saints Row is cheap, man. And Saints Row goes on it goes on sale quite often.
Yeah, because like I remember like downloading one of the uh older Grand Theft Autos, from like the
Saints Row the third is fucking $2.49 right now.
$2.49. That's great.
That's correct.
And
Go
then
ahead,
you
I'm
can just go
sorry.
right and then go right to Google, get all the cheat codes, and get everything you want, and then fly around in a Harrier jet and just fuck shit up.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do with Grand Theft Auto was always get the jet and then fly around.
I never really cared. I beat Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I beat that game,
I think that's what it was, yeah.
but
Where you could get the
eventually,
Harrier.
as I got at the end, I just screwed around and just did whatever I wanted.
Because like by then you were just tired of doing all the bullshit thing. Like
Yeah,
I never did one thing they wanted me to do. Like I'm not listening to you. I'm not here to listen
Grand
to
Theft
you.
Auto 2 or 3 or whatever it was, I used cheat codes all through that. But Vice City, I beat legit. Saints Row has a pretty cool story to it though. But
Oh,
this game's made me laugh quite a few times.
it like makes me think of that one movie with the two Irish brothers in it.
Are you talking about Boondock Saints?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. For some reason
Well,
that movie pops in my head.
it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more like um, New York City style crime syndicate than it is anything else.
So very Italian.
Not necessarily Italian, a little bit more gangster than that.
Oh, okay.
They like they'll have like in a way, I guess you could say they're a gang, but they're like a civilized gang, but yet a civilized game with a wild fucking sense of humor. Just like there's one part you can go up to some dude and you do like a DDT to him, and it shows it like in a slow replay, just taking him down, and he talks shit while he does it. It's fucking funny.
That's great.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
yeah.
But so you really can't pick just one out of your whole life?
No, no, I can't. That's like the hardest question in the world. That's like asking me. That's like asking me what's my favorite song.
Or a favorite movie, right?
Yeah, or favorite movie. That's a
Yeah,
very hard question to answer.
isn't it? And doesn't it change like all the time?
Well, yeah, it all depends on what you're playing.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I can only tell
My
you,
fucking
I could,
bank. No, just my fucking bank. I can't use my mobile app, and I haven't been able to use my mobile app ever.
right?
Again, they said, because one of my security questions was what's my favorite movie, and it's not like they gave me a choice of questions, so I had to answer it. And I don't know what the fuck I put.
Yeah, it's
So
all
I
how
tried three
close
times,
to it.
and I'm banned, dude. Like
That sucks.
fucking investors. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Now you're all right. I mean, just like asking about the whole game thing. It's just I can only do it by like genre. I don't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it overall. It's just I don't know. I've played so many games, and there's a lot of ones I like, and there's a lot of ones I have uninstalled. You know what I mean? Or I mean, I just haven't installed them, but I own them. But generally, I keep installed what I play.
Okay.
I have a fair amount of games like installed on my computer.
So that's one thing. Like, I mean, I got the computer to do iRacing, but like with the games, like when I used to play a lot of console games, I never used to keep them. Like once I would beat them, or once I was just tired of them and I didn't play them for like a couple months,
Yeah,
just trade them in, get into something else. I didn't even care if they gave me $1 for it. And I'm like, well, $1 more than what it was getting me just sitting there. And
right,
then like I look back at all the games I should still have, and I'm like, oh man, boy, did I waste a lot of money.
right.
But for some reason, I still have like every Nintendo game I ever had, and I still have it, and all still works,
Right.
unbelievably. What was the first console game like you ever started playing on? Was it Nintendo? Was it Sega?
It's Atari.
Atari? Right on. I really don't know how old you are actually. I'm guessing like around my age, so that's why I figured Nintendo, whatever.
I'm 35.
Yeah, my age. Yeah, I'm about to turn 35 like next month. So yeah, that's
I
what.
mean,
Yeah,
like
I
Nintendo and stuff.
I mean, Atari was like. Do you remember any of the games though? Like, I remember Cubert. That's
I,
about
I
it.
remember Pong and I remember Pac-Man.
Yeah, and then but they've been available on every single other console ever made since. So
Yeah, but they were the first to make it on a console.
that's true. That's true. But like yeah, I like Atari's like one of the first ones I ever played, but I didn't really give a shit. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Like I didn't appreciate it for what it was because I didn't have it before. I suppose. But
Well,
then
the
when
joystick was really lame.
yeah, I didn't. It didn't. You know, anything that has a wood grain sticker on it to make it look cool, it sucks. So yeah, but then Nintendo came out and everybody had it, so you had to have it. And then Ninja Turtles was awesome. Mario was awesome.
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. You remember the first one? How hard that was driving the goddamn van around.
Uh,
I got so lost. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do here.
I
I
I
keep dying in the
vaguely
damn
remember
sewer
this
because I
one.
can't jump right.
Yeah, I mean, we used to play. What the heck's it called? Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunter, the one with cowboys with the gun. So we played all kinds of it, man. Um,
Do you still have the gun?
no,
Was it orange or gray?
I can't remember. I think gray.
You should have kept that gun. It's rare.
Is it?
Yeah. 80% of like everybody who ever bought a Nintendo got the orange gun. Only 20% of all guns made were gray.
Yeah, we had the gray one.
Yeah, it's actually
My
worth
nephew,
like it's like worth $200. Believe that?
it's what?
It's worth $200.
Eh, if you would have told me like $1 million or something, I would have quit this podcast right now just to make sure it wasn't still here.
Wait a minute. Do I still have that fucking gun?
I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean like
I'd be gone.
just
And now, back to our regular scheduled program.
No. The drums is cool. No, they're fine. They're fine. You need more guitar in your headphones? Yep. Well, I need y'all to rock something so I can get them headphones together for me one time, all right? Yeah, just one more time, just like that. Yo, Sonny. Yeah, Sonny. Yeah, you gotta give me a little bit to get the level again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's tight. That's tight.
Yeah, you need more effect?
Word, let me check these levels.
Okay, this should be cool now.
Turn it up. Let me check it out. Check it out. Here we go. Quick this.
Okay, go ahead, bust it.
Freestyle fantastic, flipping like acrobatics. Microphone mathematics, added, then subtracted, and there you have it. Automatic, really fanatic, addict, and if you went to your fingers, you couldn't grab it. Tragic, still in my style, just like a bandit. But me and this, your mic stick tight, just like a magnet, static. Supersonic, just how he does. Just because we slamming like Onyx, feel the rush. Dust to dust, beat the beat, ridiculous. Everything we bust, it's a must, in God we trust. So slam.
dip dip dip. What's going on, everybody? Way Up Topic Radio. Hyper Nuts back in the motherfucking building. What's up, brother?
Oh, not a whole lot.
Long time listeners, back to the summer, will remember a very strange show from a bathroom, my hotel bathroom, from Milwaukee, during Road America weekend, and one Mr. Hypernuts was so